From our studio in Atlantic City, and tonight, from Wolfgang Puck American Grille at Borgata Hotel Casino and Spa, I'm David Spatz. And coming up next, someone's in the kitchen with Wolfgang Puck, and it's me. On tonight's edition of Curtain Call, and it all starts right now. You know, by force of habit, I almost said we're backstage at Borgata, and we're on stage at Borgata, but not the stage that you're used to seeing us. This is Wolfgang Puck's stage. Wolfgang, good to see you again.
So good to see you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm happy to be here. Listen, this is the most beautiful restaurant that in whole New Jersey, I think so.
I wouldn't doubt that. This has been, 18 months now since you opened the American Grill here at Borgata.
Yeah.
And it's your first restaurant in the East.
First restaurant in the East Coast. We have nothing in New York, Boston, or anything. This is it.
Why did it take you so long to come east?
Well, first of all, I think our partnership in Las Vegas with the MGM was fantastic, and they are involved also in the hotel here in the Borgata. And so I thought, MGM and Boyd together, I said it would be a great marriage to do that. So I think for me, to be in the middle of the casino, to be able to build a beautiful hotel and also have a built-in clientele, it's really a no-brainer.
But you've stayed out of New York.
Well, I really thought I need some cities where I can go and just hang out, not just work everywhere. Even I love to cook, but I think in New York today it's so expensive to open a restaurant, and they have many great restaurants already. So I think here in New Jersey people are really excited that we are here, so I'm really excited to be here.
Let's talk a little bit about background. You started out cooking in Austria, where you were born and raised.
Absolutely, yeah.
Your mother taught you how to cook, didn't she?
Yes, my mother was a hotel chef. She worked during the summer season in a resort hotel, and when I was 14, I stopped school, started to go to a restaurant, apprentice, and by 17 I got my certificate that I'm a cook, and I moved to France for 7 years, worked in some of the greatest restaurants like Maxime's in Paris, Beaumanière, Hotel de Paris, and so forth. And then I moved to the United States, and I'm probably the only immigrant who moved to Indianapolis first.
I mean, yeah, you started cooking in a restaurant in Indianapolis. Why Indianapolis? I mean, normally you come over here, you start in New York or maybe LA or something.
Yeah.
You went to the middle of the country.
Well, because I'm a big fan of auto racing. I lived in Monte Carlo, so I thought Indianapolis is going to be the same. And I ended up there with the Greyhound bus, and I said, oh my God, this is certainly not Monaco. But I stayed there, and I had a wonderful time, and I cooked in a nice restaurant. We had Christopher Silver, and was very elegant because the bank president at that time was the Indiana National Bank. He was really into food and wine, so he built this luxury restaurant, except most of the people in the Middle West eat their steak well done, and everything had to be well done, so it wasn't really exciting to cook to me. But then I moved to the West Coast and I worked in a restaurant called Ma Maison for 6 years. And in 1982, in January, we opened our first restaurant called Spago in Los Angeles.
And that was right after your first cookbook.
Yeah, exactly. The first cookbook came out in 81, and right after that, we opened a restaurant.
There's a big step from going to being a restaurant cook to publishing a cookbook, and you were very young then too. Obviously, there's a lot of confidence in your own abilities to want to do a cookbook.
Well, I had always this desire to succeed, to do more and do exciting things. So when I first was the chef in a restaurant, I said, well, now I want to do a cookbook. Then I said, I want to own my own restaurant. So it's always a stepping stone to something new. And I really love to do different things. Like when we opened Spago first, for example, was immensely successful. And then we opened Chinois, which was completely different, which had Chinese and European food mixed together, the first fusion restaurant. And so for me, that's really the exciting thing. It's just like coming here and doing the bar and grill, where we have two concepts. One is like a tavern out here where people can eat. It's more casual, and the dining room is very elegant.
Not many chefs of your caliber have embraced the tavern food. And yet you place as much of an emphasis on that. And the menu in the tavern here is wonderful, and every bit as good as the fine dining in the back.
Absolutely. To me, it's not what you cook, it's how you cook it, So if you make a simple hamburger, or like we have here, wonderful pizzas, if it's cooked properly, I love it. I prefer good pizza to caviar. Caviar you can eat once or twice, and not that I like it too, but I eat it once or twice and then I'm tired of it. Pizza, I eat it every day if I have to.
Talk about some of the differences that you encountered when you came from France to the United States. Was there a cultural adjustment for you as a chef?
Well, the first thing when I came from Paris to New York, and everybody in France said, you know, in America all they do is eat hot dogs and hamburgers. So when I came to New York and I went to a restaurant called La Grenouille, and it was a fine French restaurant. I went to Lutèce, another fine French restaurant. I said, God, they have great restaurants here in America already. So I was doubting myself. I said, maybe I don't really have to come here. But it was certainly different when I came to Indianapolis, because over there, you know, 5 people knew what a good restaurant was. The rest had no idea. So it was not very exciting cooking New York steaks well done all evening long.
Oh no, oh no, that's like a dagger through your heart. I would imagine.
So I tried to teach the people. I said, if you eat it medium rare, it's much better. So I cooked it a little pink in the inside. They all came back. So I had to cook everything well done, from the morning the scrambled eggs to night to dinner time the steaks.
For the most part, I've noticed that the menus in your restaurants are radically different, and yet you could conceivably come up with a menu and use it in just about all of your places. A lot of chefs who have multiple restaurants have done that. It must be difficult to have all these different menus going at once.
Well, it is probably more complicated and more difficult, but I like it. So that way I don't get bored. When I come here, I'm here. I know it's a bar and grill and it's exciting. When I'm at Chinois or at our new restaurant, The Source in Washington, the food is completely different. And for me, it's always exciting to see something different. I never want to be in a place and have a cookie-cutter restaurant chain.
Wolfgang, where do the recipes come from? Obviously, you've made up most, if not all of them, correct?
I made up most of them, but I have really talented chefs working with me. For example, I have Lee Hefter in Los Angeles, and I have Aram right here at the Bar and Grill, who is a very talented chef and you know, who worked with me for many years, so I trust them completely. You know, they basically saw the way we cook, what is important to buy the best ingredients and then not to screw them up, cook them the proper way. And I think Aram here is a very talented chef, and I have no doubt he can just cook as well as I do.
How many different processes or steps are there between the time you create a recipe and the time you introduce it on the menu?
Well, sometimes I create a recipe. I said, this is so exciting, and I cook it that night or that day, and it's delicious. And 2 weeks later, I said, you know, it's okay. So we put it on the side. And some recipes, like our smoked salmon pizza, become true classics. You know, we don't even have to put it on a menu. It's always in demand.
Did that one just come to you, like you wake up in the middle of the night and go, oh, smoked salmon pizza?
No, I didn't make up. You know, sometimes recipes come up like by accident. You don't have this or you don't have that. We basically ran out of bread, and then I made bread with my pizza dough. And then I said, oh, why don't I put everything together? So in 5 minutes I made it, and then I gave it to some people to taste, and they said, this is the best pizza ever. A glass of champagne or white wine with it, and it's perfect.
Kind of like the story behind how buffalo wings were created.
Yeah.
It was a happy accident.
Absolutely. Often it is like that.
Wow. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to meet the real brains behind Wolfgang Puck American Grill. We'll be back right after this. At Wolfgang Puck American Grill at Borgata, and I switched over to the stick mic because we have a guest joining us here in the kitchen with Wolfgang. Wolfgang, I'll let you do the introduction.
Well, this is the main man here at our restaurant. This is Aram. He's the chef, and he worked with me for many years, and I believe he cooks better than me already today. That's why he keeps me out of the kitchen. He muscles his way in and says, you know what, we really don't need it, but I like to cook, and so sometimes I get a little spot like making pizzas here.
And
but
it's important to your success in your organization to have someone like Aram here full-time at Borgata, because you can't be here all the time, right?
Absolutely. You know, it's the most important thing, because Aram is here every day. He checks the food in the morning, looks that everybody does the prep work right, expedites, teaches the young chefs how to cook. Is basically, when you're a chef in a restaurant, you're a teacher, you're a manager, and you're a leader, so you have to have all these qualities, and on the side being a great cook.
Okay. So Aram, what is it like working for Wolfgang, but at a distance? He's not here that often.
It's been great. I've been working for Wolf for over 12 years, and there's a reason for that. It's just that I really enjoy working with him and for him. He's just very motivating, and I've learned so much from him over the years. He's a lot of fun to work with. You know, every time he comes into town, we have a great time.
When we were over watching Wolf do the book signing earlier today, and then watching him interact with the staff here, it occurred to me that he gets it.
You couldn't put it better. I mean, you know, all the people love him for a reason, you know, because he's talks to everyone, he's down to earth, and he's like bringing people into your home. It's like people coming into Wolfgang's house, and he's always over there talking to them. Every table he hits, it's just amazing. I've been watching him do it for a very long time, and it's just incredible.
When in your career did you realize that Wolfgang Puck stopped becoming a name and became a brand?
I still don't think that way. You know, I think we have a family restaurant. You know, we just have a few family members who are not my kids and not my relatives, but they are better than the relatives because I think they have the same passion as I have.
All right. I know you and I are going to do a little cooking for us.
Yeah, we're going to cooking. Look at that. We have a pizza in here. We're going to make one of our smoked salmon pizza.
Well, as you're cooking, describe what you're doing and what we're going to enjoy.
Well, here I just put in some pizza dough in our pizza oven here, and we're going to make our smoked salmon pizza. But you know, we are also really down to earth, and we make regular pizzas too. That's why I think people love us. You can get really something fancy, you know, something very elaborate, but you also can get a good simple pizza. Like one of my all-time favorites is a little pesto and a little bit of lamb sausage. Do we have a little lamb sausage somewhere, Aaron, in here?
And that is a wood-burning oven beef, right?
Oh, prosciutto, even better. Let's make a prosciutto pizza. This is my favorite. And I know the people in New Jersey love prosciutto, except they call it prosciutto or something like that. They forget the O at the end sometimes.
Prosciutto. They say prosciutto.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. You know what?
Listen, this is the state where the Sopranos came from, you know? If we want to call it prosciutto, we call it prosciutto.
We don't gonna say anything against them because we're gonna be in trouble out there, you know? I don't wanna like to cook with one hand or just with 3 fingers.
When you first opened the place here at Borgata, you and I spent a little time talking, and I said to you, what kind of local ingredients are you going to use here in the restaurant? The first thing you mentioned was Jersey tomatoes.
Well, Aaron knows even better than me. You know, when we are somewhere, wherever our restaurant is, we are involved with the local community, with farmers, with fishermen. So we try to get as much local ingredients as we can, or around us, where you actually can drive to us. Now, it's not possible for certain things. Like if you want great prosciutto, it comes from Italy. If you have great Parmesan, there's nobody who makes it as good as in Italy. But fresh fish, you know, you can get great fish right from here. You can get wonderful lobsters. You can get great meat, and natural all the vegetable fruits and the berries in the summertime, the corn in the summertime. It's really fantastic.
All right, so we're doing the prosciutto pizza.
Yeah, we're gonna make a prosciutto pizza. One of my favorite, and a smoked salmon pizza. You can see the pizza crust is almost done here. I think we can take it out, and we're gonna put the prosciutto pizza in here. So what else we're gonna put on? A little eggplant might be good. Okay, now for the prosciutto pizza, I can make it 2 ways. Or I can put the prosciutto on here, or I can put it raw on it. Just when it comes out, put the prosciutto thin slices on it. It tastes really delicious. So let's put this pizza in here. All right. We cook it in our wood-burning oven. It takes only a few minutes. And here we have our smoked salmon pizza. Okay, let's clean up a little bit here.
This is the happy accident pizza, right?
Yeah, I love pizza anytime. You know, I get up in the morning, I make it with smoked salmon and scrambled eggs. Yeah, give me one more plate for the pizza. I have it at night with a glass of champagne.
Food of the gods. Look at the smoked salmon. That is the food of the gods.
Thank you. All right. Okay, you can see our pizza is nice and crispy here. So, what is better than cooking a little pizza dough, yeast dough, with a little olive oil, a little onion, and then here we're gonna put a little bit of dill cream. This is sour cream mixed with dill, a little shallots, a little lemon juice, salt and pepper. Put that on the warm crust. Nice, and you know, we have to be generous. Put enough on here so it's nice and creamy. It goes well with our smoked salmon pizza. Okay,
I noticed one thing. I noticed you have been cooking professionally since you were 14 years old.
Yeah.
So if I do my math right, that's almost 45 years.
Yeah, I think I started to cook before you were born. I told you before.
And probably real close to it. But what I can't help but notice is that you still enjoy it. You're into it.
Completely. You know what? To me, cooking is life. And you know, next to sex is probably my favorite thing.
I was waiting for that one to come out.
Hey, food and sex goes together really well. You know, I think you have to have passion. If you have a partner in life and you go to bed and you have no passion, it's boring. In the kitchen is the same thing. If you have no passion for food, if you don't really love, stay out of the kitchen and stay out of the bedroom too. Gonna put a little chives or a little chopped parsley on top here. We have, okay, a little parsley is fine now. Okay. And we're gonna put a little caviar. Look at that. That's good to be in a big casino. They have a lot of money. We can use the best ingredients. How much better can life be?
Well, when it comes to smoked salmon and caviar, you can't get much better than that.
No.
Look at that. Wow. Now, is this pizza pretty much standard on most of your menus where you have
No.
this? No?
We have them in. We have this pizza in all of our restaurants.
Right.
And I think, except the expresses, whatever, we won't have it because it would be too expensive. But you can come to most of our restaurants and ask for a smoked salmon pizza, and they will have it for you.
Even if it's not on the menu, they'll
Even if
make
it's
it.
not on the menu.
Okay.
Yep. Now look at that, how beautiful. You can take a close up now.
Then we have some beautiful lamb chops here, Colorado. Nice thick cut. And that's basically a half of a rack that we serve here at the restaurant. We saute a little bit of broccoli rabe with some garlic and olive oil. Just a little bit. Just kind of cross the bones, just like that. We have a little red wine sauce that we put with that. And we have what we call a fennel fondant. Thick sliced roasted fennel. That we cook with a little star anise. Put that right over the top just like that. That's how we serve the lamb chop in the dining room here at Wolfgang Puck American Grill.
It's delicious.
Yeah.
All right, and
Right.
now our prosciutto pizza is ready, but it doesn't have the prosciutto on. Look how beautiful cooked it is. Can you see that? You get a close up? You know, if you want to be like Steven Spielberg, you have to get close in there all the way. That's how he made his Oscar, huh? Not by staying far away. All right,
Well,
now.
speaking of Oscar, don't you do the catering for the Academy Awards this year?
Absolutely, we
Yes,
do
you
that every year. For 14 years, we do the Oscar party.
Is that intimidating at all?
Not anymore. I think we are so well organized. I have so many great people with me. All right, now we're gonna put just a little bit of prosciutto on here. And voila. One of my all-time favorite pizzas is done. Simple. All you need is some good prosciutto, make a good pizza dough, and some very thinly sliced prosciutto ham. Now, if you don't have prosciutto, you can use Black Forest ham or things like that at home. But, you know, here we have the best prosciutto. Look how thin it is sliced. That's the way it has
to
to
be. Parma prosciutto?
Only from Parma.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hear Aram in the background cooking.
Aram is sizzling. All right. And here we have our prosciutto pizza. We drizzle a little olive oil on it. Okay. And voila. Maybe a little touch of Parmesan, not too much. And here we have our famous prosciutto pizza. All right.
We got one more dish to make for you. This is our steamed fish that we do Hong Kong style.
Delicious fish.
We have a little stir-fried vegetables, some bok choy and shiitake mushrooms and carrots. And this is, to finish it off, is a little bit of warm ponzu which is a citrus soy sauce.
So that really just keeps the Asian theme in this dish.
Yeah, there's some Chinese fermented black beans in the sauce also.
Oh, that's enough. Voila.
Good.
I think it's really important, you know, we use the best, freshest ingredients, you know. Like right now it's fall, it's apple season, pear season, and if you see a roadside farmer's market, we always stop in. I love to go, and Adam love to go to seek out real purveyor farmers who are really use sustainable agriculture, you know, who really do something good. So I think we are really looking not only what we can cook, but also what is really going to happen to the environment. So I think to really support local farmers is one of our most important things.
You know, our show is technically considered an entertainment show, but this was every bit as entertaining as any singer, comedian, any act we've had on the show. Wolfgang,
thank you. So good to see you. Thank you. Next time in a cooking jacket, all right?
Okay, and Aaron Mardishian, good to see you. And we'll be back with more right after this. Memo to self, next time you're going to be attempting to cook with Wolfgang Puck, wear the appropriate clothes. We love hanging out with Wolfgang. He's a lot of fun, and I actually learn a lot from watching him cook. He's not afraid to take chances. Hey, thanks for staying up late and hanging out with us tonight. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll see you right back here next week.